Hey guys, my name is Anthony Potestad, and this is my sports history project for the class of sports history for fall 2017. Throughout the slideshow, I will be presenting some of the background information that Sweden holds, as well as some of its sports history, including some of their most famous athletes, and even some that has helped rewritten history as of late. So let's move on. Okay, so here we have Sweden's flag. Sweden's flag has a specific design on it that actually symbolizes the Nordic cross, which the Nordic cross design traditionally represents Christianity. The design and colors of the Swedish flag are believed to have been inspired by the present coat of arms of Sweden of 1442, which is blue divided quarterly by a cross patè of gold and modeled on the Danish flag. As for Sweden's location, we have on each side, we have Norway to the left of Sweden, and we have the Gulf of Bothnia to the right, and on the bottom of Sweden, we see Denmark. So it is majorly bordered by water, but by countries as well, if you want to say. Okay, some general information about Sweden. Sweden's population is about 9 million, about 4.2 being males, 4.2 million, and about 4.3 million being females. It's a rough estimate, so that's why I took it to 9 million. The majority of the population are Swedes. Middle Eastern immigrants have begun making up a good amount of Sweden's population as of late. The official language of Sweden is Swedish, which is a North Germanic language. It also accepts minority languages such as Finnish, Romani, Sami, and Yiddish. The Lutheran Christianity is the largest religion in Sweden, followed by Islam, due to the amount of Middle Eastern immigrants that have begun to flood the country of Sweden. Okay, now to the history of sports in Sweden. Sweden is said to have about half of its population active in sports. The most important organizations in charge of the sports are the Swedish Sports Confederation and the Swedish Olympic Committee, which have over 2 million members in the clubs. The two main sports in Sweden are known to be football, as we know, soccer, and the ice hockey. Although those are the two most important ones, there's still plenty other that are greatly played and watched, such as bandy, which is what we may know of as hockey, but instead of 6 players being on the rink, there are 11. The rink is considerably larger, and bandy uses a small ball as hockey uses a puck. So that is one of the differences that bandy has in Sweden that we might not know of here in the United States. But rugby is, as we all know, handball, basketball, skiing, track and field, golf, tennis, cycling, etc. Those are some that most of us may be pretty familiar with, and they are also pretty well played in Sweden. Aside from practicing sports, they also have held important events such as the World Ice Hockey Championships, football, soccer World Cup, Summer Olympics, and a couple others. And we will elaborate on those points as the presentation continues. Bjorn Borg is one, if not Sweden's most famous athlete, and that is due to being so dominant on the tennis court. Borg has been ranked #1 in the world for tennis players and is sometimes even argued to be the best tennis player to play the game. Some of the accomplishments are winning 6 French Opens, 5 Wimbledon, 2 Tour Finals, 2 WCT Finals, 1 Davis Cup, and ultimately, as any athlete in their sport would like to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, he was named into the International Tennis Hall of Fame. Borg's performance on the court is said to have helped take the popularity of tennis to its peak in 1970s. But in 1979, he was declared the first player to earn $1 million in prize money in one season. But because of being so overwhelmed and putting his body through the test, he eventually retired at the young age of 26 from the tennis sport. Here we will see a picture of Bjorn Borg, so some of you can see how he looked and in his field of expertise, which was tennis. Okay, now we have Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Zlatan Ibrahimovic may have been more recent than Bjorn Borg, but he is definitely not any less important to the Swedes. He currently plays for Manchester United, but was also a part of Sweden's national team from 2001 to 2016, and was their captain from 2010 to 2016. Ibrahimovic can stand out from his opponents due to his unique playing style on the field. He is currently the second most decorated football player in the world, having won 32 trophies. Ibrahimovic has had the opportunity to play for some of the most prestigious clubs in professional soccer like Juventus, Barcelona, Milan, Paris Saint-Germain, and now Manchester United. Some of the awards that he has been able to be awarded with throughout the years have been the Footballer of the Year, which he has received it 13 times, Player of the Year, which he received it 1 time, Top Scorer, which he has received it 5 times, and multiple cups for many of the teams that he has played for. And here we will see a picture of Zlatan Ibrahimovic as he celebrates a goal for his current team, Manchester United. Okay, here we also have a list of additional sporting heroes for Sweden. We have Therese Alshamar, which was a swimmer and won several medals in the Olympics. She also won several championships, European championships, and American championships. We then have Magdalena Forsberg, which was in biathlon. Peter Forsberg, which played hockey. Ingemar Johansson, which was a boxer. Charlie Kalla, which was in cross-country skiing. Carolina Klüft, which was a heptathlon. Lisa Norden, which was in triathlon. Ronnie Peterson, which was a Formula One driver. Anja Parson, which was in alpine skiing, and many more, which unfortunately we are not able to discuss due to time restrictions. Now, for the most important event, in my opinion, that Sweden has had the opportunity to hold is the 1912 Summer Olympics in Stockholm, Sweden. In 1912, Sweden held their first set of Olympic Games, which took place in the city of Stockholm. The set of games in Stockholm had devices that had never been used before in Olympics, like electronic timing devices, finish line cameras, and running lanes outlined with chalk instead of cord, which was not something common for that time. Well, not common or ever seen before, to be, as I said. The Swedes did perform exceptionally well and ended up taking 64 medals and dominated the entire Olympics. Although the Swedes had great performances, the star of the games were Jim Thorpe, which won the decathlon and pentathlon, and the King of Sweden at the time even named him the best athlete of all time, which was quite an honor for an athlete like Jim Thorpe at the time, which he was a professional football player back in the United States, and was also an Olympic athlete. Here we have a picture of the 1912 Summer Olympics in Stockholm, Sweden. As you see, there was the outline of chalk, some of the cameras you can see there, finish line devices, and of course the athletes, how they look then and how they look now. That's just something that you could analyze real quick. And the stadiums, how they were much older than, not much necessarily much older, but you can see the difference from then and now. A list of special events held at Sweden would be the Bandy World Cup, which is annually held at Sweden, the Sweden Hockey Games, which is annually held in Sweden as well, the DN Galan, which is annually held again at Sweden, the Swedish Open, which is annually held also, the Olympic Games, which were held in 1912 in Stockholm, the FIFA World Cup, which was held in 1958, the European Football Championship in 1992, and many more, even including some that are open to the public annually. And here we have the bibliography, and I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation as much as I enjoyed explaining it to you, and so long.